Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. Now before we get into today's video, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours, and that you're following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. And welcome to this week's recap, where we'll be looking back at the weekend's games from here in England and the W.F.C and the games across the European leagues. So obviously the game of the weekend here in England was Chelsea versus Manchester United. Going into it, it was the top two sides. Manchester United looking to beat Chelsea for the first time in the W.F.C, which they have obviously been unable to do and were unable to do so yesterday. Sam Kerr scoring the only goal of the game, a fantastic ball over the top from Lauren James to find the Australian, who lovely first touch, managed to split the defenders that ball from James, and then Kerr managed to have the better of the defenders, and then lovely chip shot over Mary Earps to put it Chelsea 1-0 up, and it was an absolute fantastic goal. Probably a contender for goal of the season, definitely goal of the month so far. So that was a beautiful goal there from Sam Kerr. Manchester United didn't really create too much in the way of making Ann-Katrin Berger work too much. A lot of the crosses and a few of the set pieces were easy for the German goalkeeper to deal with, and I think that's United's fault of their own, trying to beat the teams of the so-called big three, so Chelsea, Manchester City and Arsenal. You need to be dangerous in the final third, and Manchester United certainly weren't that yesterday. They did have a couple of shouts for two penalties, which did anger manager Mark Skinner for not being awarded. The first one was Khadija Buchanan and Nikita Paris. Buchanan clipped Nikita Paris' legs as she fell in the box. For me, that's a stonewall penalty, and it's disappointing to see that the Lions person, who would have been relatively close to that, didn't award or signal to the referee that it should have been a penalty to Manchester United. For me, that's 100% a penalty. And then the second one, a comment together between Anna Badge and Jess Carter as the balls in the air both have just collided with each other. Again, it's one where you've seen them given and I've seen them not given, but it is just again testament that to what a lot of managers have been saying over the last season and a bit now, is that the standard of officiating has been really poor, and it needs to be getting better for the women's game and to be taken more seriously, and these kind of mistakes can't be happening because they keep happening on a weekly basis in multiple games. So yeah, disappointing for Manchester United, but Chelsea with the victory now go above them and sit atop of the table. Elsewhere, Arsenal managed to beat Reading by 4-0. Kim Little opened the score with a penalty, and then goals from Frida Marn, an own goal from Emma McCandy, and Leah Williamson scoring her first goal of the season gave victory to Jonas Eidevall's side. Third place Manchester City beat Brighton and Hove Albion by 2-1. Khadija Shaw scoring both goals there. It was a really late winner there for Khadija Shaw. Fantastic from Brighton in their second game under Amy Merricks, obviously after Jens Sjö left the club last week. And yeah, I think if they're able to do that against Manchester City and just about lose, I think for the rest of the season they may be able to grind out results and get away from the relegation zone. So Brighton are definitely one of the teams to watch for the rest of this season going forth. Elsewhere, Liverpool beat Tottenham by 2-1. Again, that makes it 9 defeats in a row for Tottenham, having not won since October. Again, Spurs can be aggrieved at Liverpool's second goal, as it seemed that American Katie Stengel was offside and in the line of Tini Korpela when Missy Bocone's shot. However, the officials spoke about it, but the goal was awarded. So it's going to be very interesting to see how much that could affect Tottenham in the long run going forth. Everton drew 0-0 with Leicester City. Leicester City again have Janina Leitzig to thank. Another fantastic performance from the young goalkeeper. Since she's joined the club, she's been absolutely fantastic. And again, I think Leicester with Leitzig and the ability looking really good under recent weeks under Willie Kirk, I think they can escape it. And then finally, Aston Villa beat West Ham United by 2-0. Jordan Nobbs and a wonderful goal from Rachel Daly give Carla Ward's side the 3 points in that one. Over to Spain now, and an Aitana Bonmati brace helped Barcelona beat Levante by 4-0 to continue to extend their lead at the top. It's now 56 games unbeaten, 51 league wins for Jonathan Geraldes at the helm of Barcelona in league form, just continuing to show why they are the best team in Spanish football. Elsewhere, the Madrid derby between Atletico and Real finished 0-0, and Granadilla Tenerife, a big result for them this weekend, beating Madrid CFF by 5-2. Over in France now, and Lyon beat Fleury by 2-1, and PSG kept up the pressure by beating Stade Rennes by 4-0. Over in Germany, and Bayern Munich beat Duisburg by 4-0 on Friday, and then Wolfsburg managed to beat Bayer Leverkusen by 4-1 to get back to win ways after losing last weekend. So that's a very good sign for Tommy Stroot's side as they continue to lead the way in Germany. And finally, over in the Netherlands, Ajax beat Excelsior by 3-0. Den Haag beat Fortuna Sittard by 1-0, and Telstar versus Feyenoord was a 1-1 draw, with the other two games being postponed due to the weather. So it's a good weekend for Ajax. Obviously, with PSV's game being postponed, they are now just sitting 2 points behind FC20 at the top of the league there in the Netherlands, and due to other results as well, FC20 have qualified for the first round of the UEFA Women's Champions League next season. So that is it for this week. We'll be back on Friday to look ahead to the weekend's games and any other talking points. And like I said at the start, make sure you're following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens, and that you are subscribed to this channel so you never miss a video of ours. In the meantime, we'll see you soon.